What if everything you thought you knew about softball pitching
I was super excited to be back on the mound. Obviously, watching the staff do so well and compete.
was already outdated? What if the limits weren't real because somewhere in Tennessee, a pitcher stepped into the circle and started throwing harder than anyone ever had before, not just in her conference, not just in her era. In history, radar guns didn't just light up, they broke expectations. Hitters didn't just struggle, they froze. Coaches didn't just adjust.
The 0-2 to Milliken. Indecisive there, doesn't matter. Caught looking, 6K of the day.
They stared, trying to understand what they were witnessing. And the craziest part, she wasn't peaking. She was just getting started. Karlyn Pickens didn't arrive quietly. She arrived with velocity, pressure, and a level of dominance that made people ask a dangerous question. What happens when the hardest thrower in softball history learns how to control it perfectly? Early foundation, background, and rise. Before the records.
Yeah, Elsa, coming in as a freshman, definitely, it's always a learning experience, getting to know how everyone operates, but she's an awesome competitor.
Before the headlines, before the radar gun numbers that made people do double takes, there was just a kid who refused to be ordinary. Karlyn Pickens wasn't built in a lab. She was built through repetition, through competition, through playing everything. Softball, basketball, volleyball, 3 sports, 1 mindset, compete, win, repeat.
Yeah, I think it's been something too that I've learned throughout my years playing, and that's just that joy. Playing every game, just happy to be there with each other, just leaving it all out on the field.
While others specialized early, she developed something more valuable. Athletic instincts, balance, explosiveness, coordination, the kind of foundation you can't teach later. And even then, the signs were there. Dominance wasn't occasional, it was expected. Strikeouts piled up, hitters walked back shaking their heads, games ended early because there simply wasn't an answer for what she brought to the circle.
Takes over the job. That's right. The strange new world we live in. But not for Karlyn Pickens.
But it wasn't just the numbers, it was the presence, the way she carried herself, the way every inning felt like it belonged to her. Recruiters noticed, analysts noticed. Everyone who saw her pitch came to the same conclusion. She wasn't just good, she was inevitable. By the time she reached the national radar, she wasn't chasing attention anymore. The attention was chasing her. And Tennessee, they didn't just land a recruit, they landed a problem for the rest of the country. Freshman impact. 2023 season. College is supposed to humble you. New level, faster hitters, bigger pressure. For most freshmen, it's survival. For Karlyn Pickens, it was a statement. From the moment she stepped into the circle for Tennessee, there was no adjustment period, no hesitation, no waiting her turn. She attacked. Pitch after pitch, she showed flashes of something different. Not just talent, but edge, confidence, control. Hitters expected a freshman. What they got was someone who pitched like she'd been there for years. And the results? They came fast. SEC Freshman of the Year, that's not a participation award, that's dominance in one of the toughest conferences in college softball. But the numbers only told part of the story, because what stood out most was how she handled pressure. Tight games didn't rattle her. Big moments didn't slow her down. If anything, they made her better. You could see it in her body language, in her tempo, in the way she challenged hitters instead of working around them. She wasn't just trying to survive college softball, she was trying to take it over. And this was only year 1. Breakout 2024 season. Year 2 is where the hype either fades or becomes real. For Pickens, it became something else entirely, dangerous. Her ERA dropped to an elite level, around 1.12. Hitters weren't just struggling anymore. They were guessing, and guessing wrong. Perfect games started appearing, not once in a career moments, but part of her growing arsenal of dominance. Strikeouts climbed, walks stayed controlled, command sharpened, but something else changed too. Her presence. She didn't look like a young pitcher anymore. She looked like the best player on the field, every time. And that's when the conversation shifted. She was no longer promising. She was a problem. Opposing teams didn't ask if they could score. They asked how, because facing her wasn't just about talent anymore. It was about surviving long enough to create one opportunity. And most teams never got it. But then everything changed. Historic Dominance 2025 season main climax.
Suspenseful for sure. You know, when you see the AUSL pop up on there, you kind of have an idea of what's going on. So just taking it all in those moments where the video was playing, my teammates surrounding me, giving those hugs.
This is where the story stops being impressive and starts becoming historic. The 2025 season wasn't just dominance, it was overload. 25 wins, 1.17 ERA, 306 strikeouts. Those numbers alone would define a great season. But Pickens didn't stop at great. She broke the sport. On March 24th, everything shifted. A pitch left her hand and entered history. 78.2 miles per hour, the fastest pitch ever recorded in softball. And just when people were trying to process it, she broke it again.
Pickens 2 down.
You can tell that Pickens is starting to pick up on the fact that they're getting on time for that pitch. That was the first changeup.
79.4 miles per hour. Let that sink in. In baseball terms, that's the equivalent of facing elite MLB velocity, except from a shorter distance with less reaction time.
Watching this staff do so well and compete, it's been amazing watching them. So to be able to go back on the field and celebrate with them, it was...
And a completely different release angle. Hitters weren't just late, they were overwhelmed, because velocity like that doesn't just challenge mechanics, it challenges confidence. You step into the box knowing
with my hips and try and get to this 70-mile-per-hour pitch.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
You might not catch up, and when you start thinking like that, you're already beat. But Pickens didn't rely on speed alone. That's what made it terrifying. She had control, precision, the ability to place that speed exactly where she wanted, inside, outside, corners.
Yeah, for sure. I just know with this team, they always have my back no matter what happens. So just being able to come in the dugout and know that they're going to get the job.
And when hitters adjusted, she adjusted faster. That's when dominance turns into fear. And nowhere was that clearer than the Women's College World Series. 9 innings, 41 batters faced.
So we know nothing's handed to us, sticking to our process for each game, keeping them separate. Oregon's a great team.
That's not just endurance, that's war. Pitch after pitch, inning after inning, she kept coming. No drop off, no hesitation, it's just pressure. Relentless pressure. This wasn't just a pitcher having a great season, and this was a pitcher overwhelming the entire sport.
Yeah, it's just electric just to be able to kind of watch as a pitcher. Obviously, I'm not always involved in their game plans and stuff.
Rewriting what was possible in real time and forcing everyone watching to ask, how do you even hit that? What makes her different? There have been great pitchers before, dominant ones, smart ones, powerful ones, but Pickens, she's something else.
Fun videos, social media, making TikToks with Ella. But yeah, it's really what you make it.
Because she combines things that aren't supposed to exist together, velocity and control. Most pitchers sacrifice one for the other. Throw harder, lose accuracy. Focus on placement, lose power. She does both.
I think it's just, a tribute to all the work that we've put in as a staff, Megan, everybody that's, the team, and all as a group effort.
And that changes everything. Then there's the mental side. Pressure doesn't shrink her, it sharpens her. Big games don't slow her down, they speed her up. You can see it in the way she attacks hitters late in games. When most pitchers are trying to survive, she's trying to finish.
Not really focused on attacking as much, and then coming back in here rather than focus on results.
Add in her endurance, complete games, extra innings, high pitch counts, and she's still throwing heat, still locating, still dominating. That's rare. And when you compare her to typical pitchers, the gap becomes obvious. Most rely on movement. Some rely on deception.
Yeah, I think just like reminding me that my team still needs me to lead and stuff. Obviously it can be hard when you aren't.
Few rely on power. She uses all of it at once. That's not just skill, that's evolution. 2026 season, continued dominance. Sometimes after a historic season, players slow down. Regression, fatigue, adjustment, not here. 2026 didn't look like a decline, it looked like a continuation.
Decided to play with this group of girls. We've been working our butts off for the past couple of months, so to finally play some different competition, get to work with
15 strikeout games, complete games, shutouts, lineups still struggling to figure her out. There was no hesitation in her performance, no drop in intensity, no sign that 2025 was a peak. If anything, it was a starting point, but she came back sharper, more efficient, more confident, the same velocity, the same control.
I think this team, that's one of the things that make us so great, is anybody at any given day can stand up and hold us to that standard.
But with something extra, experience. And that's dangerous because now she's not just reacting, she's anticipating, setting hitters up, breaking them down over the course of an at-bat.
You're watching her just battle. I mean, this is one of the best pitching staffs in the SEC, so being able to just go up there, know you're going to have...
And finishing them when it matters most. No regression and no slowdown, only evolution. Legacy and impact. Closing. Every sport has moments.
It was super exciting. I know this year I've just been really excited to play with this group of girls. We've been working our butts off for the past couple of months.
When someone changes the standard, not slightly, completely, Karlyn Pickens is doing that for softball. She's redefining what power looks like in the circle, redefining what hitters have to prepare for, redefining what young players believe is possible.
Softball player Jenny Vinch was in town to surprise Lady Vol pitcher Karlyn Pickens with a golden ticket.
Because now there's proof that you can throw harder, that you can dominate at a level people thought didn't exist.
Big cut for strike 3. Pickens.
That the ceiling wasn't real, and the impact, it's just beginning. Future players will study her, train differently because of her, push their limits because she pushed hers first.
Pickens gets the strikeout to get things going here for Tennessee.
And as for what comes next, pro leagues, international play, records that may take decades to touch, but one thing is already clear. She didn't just arrive. She didn't just dominate. She didn't just break records. She changed the game.
Gets her with a check swing. Karlyn Pickens.
Because in the end, she didn't just throw harder than anyone else. She changed what hard even means.